My role models were pretty much dope fiends, drug dealers, prostitutes. You know, it might sound crazy, but I've actually found some peace in prison. I've been able to really dig inside of myself and find me.
This is not your typical hip-hop concert.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Because the entire audience is incarcerated.
This is Street Radio, unsung hero, riding the Rigo, trying to stay legal.
Academy and Grammy Award-winning rapper and activist Common recently embarked on a tour of several California prisons. His goal was to inspire inmates and also to shatter myths about what's actually happening inside of America's prisons by hearing stories directly from people behind bars.
I'm keeping my eyes on the people, that's the prize. We started meeting all these individuals in prison who were so enlightened, and just people that were just human beings that had something to say and offer to the world because they had been through so much. It was about really giving these individuals a light, giving them a chance to be heard.
What's up? Hey, what's going on?
One of those stories is Deshaun Thornton, a 45-year-old Chicago native who's been in and out of prisons for almost 2 decades.
I had a newborn baby at home, rent was due, he needed things. I came up with the grand idea to rob a bank and come home and, hey, I got money, everything's gonna be all right. But it didn't work out like that. I never made it out the bank.
Oh, okay.
The cops came, I got arrested, and I got sentenced to 14 years for second-degree robberies. I grew up in a broken home, both parents addicted to crack cocaine. There was very seldom food in the house, a lot of strange people in and out of the house. My role models were pretty much dope fiends, drug dealers, prostitutes. You know, I was taught right from wrong, you know, but as time went on, you know, just being a youngster trying to eat and keep clothes on myself, you know, because my parents couldn't do it.
How did you make it to California?
We came out here seeking a better life, and it started off okay. You know, I ended up graduating from high school. I kind of got focused, and my moms and pops, they was doing good, they was working. You know, you start to meet people, and they found drugs again, so things started to spiral down again. I ended up being homeless, and I became the very thing that I said I wouldn't become, a drug addict.
I spoke to Thornton's parents about what happened to their son. They now live in Sacramento, over 100 miles away from Valley State Prison, so they rarely see him.
Wanda, good to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
And Tyrone?
Yeah.
Aaron, good to meet you.
The Sean that I love, my son, he was always very kind-hearted. He was funny. He always cracked jokes. He always made up characters. He kept me laughing. I always knew he loved me and his father.
Good grades in school.
Yeah.
He was good in school.
Unfortunately, we experimented with drugs, crack cocaine, and it actually destroyed our lives, and I'm not happy about it. I'm actually embarrassed about it. We went through a lot as a family. We took him through a lot. So we had left California and moved back to Chicago, and during this time we had lost touch with Deshaun, and we did not know where he was, and we had a contact here in Sacramento, actually a district attorney, who helped us locate him, and this is how we found out that he was locked up in jail, in prison.
There are tens of thousands of stories like Deshaun Thornton's in California. Roughly 2.3 million people are incarcerated in the U.S., more than any other country in the world. And more than 128,000 of them are in California's prison system. What's more, the most recent government data shows 66% of inmates released from prison in California return within 3 years. I spoke to Sam Lewis, a formerly incarcerated prison reform advocate who joined Common on the prison tour, about how to fix this problem. He says Proposition 57, a ballot measure that is expanding rehabilitative programs in prison, is part of the solution.
Proposition 57, which allows more rehabilitative programs inside the Department of Corrections, and that creates hope. It creates a realistic opportunity to have a chance to go home. Before, you didn't have as many programs that you have.
So what still needs to change in California?
We're still a long ways away from having the amount of programs we should have in the entire Department of Corrections.
Najee Franklin, 22 years old, out of Los Angeles County. I got sentenced to 21 years, 4 months for attempted murder. And basically what I want to do when I get out is not be a disappointment to my family. I want to prove to them I can be the man that they expected me to be.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You will.
My name is Moses Wells. I'm 23, currently serving a 24-year prison sentence for first-degree robbery. When I get out, I want to be able to go to one of my son's Taekwondo matches.
Yeah. We can't like just from outside say, hey, we're gonna just come in and say this is the program you need. This is what. Right. It's great to hear from the individuals that are incarcerated what they need and say, man, we are going to organize to get these things done.
I'm Aaron Morrison, 22 years old, San Diego, California. Been down 4 years on a 15 to life sentence.
One of the programs that has helped is the Youthful Offender Program, which California implemented to prevent younger inmates from joining gangs while locked up.
I ended up incarcerated through a bad choice, hanging around bad people, and I was put in a predicament, and pretty much wrong place, wrong time, someone ended up losing their life.
22-year-old Homero Palomino has benefited from that program. He was sentenced to 15 years to life for a second-degree murder charge after he witnessed his friend kill a dealer in a weed purchase gone wrong. He isn't eligible for parole until 2026.
Before I was incarcerated, I was actually in school. I was on my first year of college. I was boxing. I was on a national boxing team, and I was looking forward to going to a 2016 Olympics.
Wow. How long had you been boxing before?
Since I was 4 years old. Homer Palomino, National Golden Gloves champion, Pound National champion. I'm 16 years old. I've been boxing for 14 years with Max Gutierrez, and boxing is my passion and my love. I traveled around the world. I met a lot of people, big names in the sport, Oscar De La Hoya, Mayweather.
And so what did it feel like when you realized that you had to leave all that behind?
It was devastating for me. I felt like I let a lot of people down, and that's why now I just want to strive to get out so I could show that I'm not the person that belongs in here. The programs are there for you to show them that you have changed and that you aren't a person of maybe what your crime says you did.
After hearing the stories of Thornton and Palomino, it became clear to me just how much these programs have helped both men turn their lives around.
I go to college here in prison, here in Valley State.
What are you studying?
I'm learning how to become a drug and alcohol counselor. I know that struggle firsthand, so I'm also learning to trade. I'm learning to become an optician. They have an optical plant here.
He has a certificate of achievement for successful completion of the mental health group. And this one I'm really proud about. He worked really extremely hard for this one.
And this one is certified that he's a certified trainer of dogs.
I see the difference in my son because in earlier years when he was serving the time, I could hear it in his voice how depressed he was and unhappy he was. But the Deshaun I speak to now is upbeat and encouraging and positive, and he's just working on so many positive things. He's really, truly rehabilitating himself.
I feel blessed, man. I've been able to really dig inside of myself and find me.
Who did you find?
Who did I find? Mm-hmm. I found somebody that's able to handle responsibility today. Here I feel every day of being incarcerated. And I think it's because I have a strong desire, to change. I want to get out and make a difference. I'm not going to turn out the way you guys thought I was.
I've been trapped in prison, but it's deeper than the physical. Captive of my own demise, mental and spiritual. I speak about my struggle and my pain in my lyrics. Constantly fighting the battle of flesh and spirit. Through it all, I still shine like the sun. And let my people know there's still hope for everyone. So I keep pushing, cause it could be at our worst. I made it through hell, so now I'm seeking heaven on earth.
I wish the world could hear him, because I believe, not just because he's my son, but he's truly talented.
And to tell you this, I don't like rap, but I like the way he raps. You know?
Gonna take my mind, yeah, take my mind. And the groove ain't slow, but we still gonna take our time, yeah, take our time.
What does it feel like to have folks like Common come to this facility and shine a light on your stories and just show up and just say, hey, I see you?
It feel good, man. You know, I mean, for one, I'm from Chicago. He a Chicago native, so, you know, I already connect with that. It just lets me know, hey, man, there's people out there that actually do care.
VSP, we do it for the love, come on. VSP, we do it for the love. VSP, we do it for the love, come on. VSP, we do it for the love. My thing is, like, everybody's not gonna come visit a prison. I'm grateful that we're here, like, talking about it, putting it, like, out to the world. Valley State Prison, VSP, I want to address you as gentlemen, as kings.
As the nationwide movement for prison reform gathers steam, Common's message is simple. No matter who you are or why you're in prison, you deserve a second chance in life.
And we ain't eating, then I ain't eating. I'm still hungry. I'm hungry in this mug. Valley State, I'm hungry in this mug. I'm hungry in this mug. I'm hungry in this mug. I'm hungry, hungry. Yo, I walked in the crib, got 2 kids and my baby mama lady.
Uh-oh, uh-oh.
Yo,